Okay, so welcome everyone to the lesson. So we are at the end of Unit 6. The last lesson we looked at doing the review part. So we've finished up from here doing the review. And what we're going to do today for part of the lesson is look at the extra materials. So let's go through that, make sure we understand the grammar and everything about this whole unit that we have been talking about. And if you remember, Unit 6, the title of this whole week that we've been looking at is the past simple. So it's called Past Lives, and that's what we're looking at, using the past simple tense. So for our action words. So let's look at the extra materials and start to go through them in the time that we have. So we all have this. And I'll go to the first page, which is here, 6A. Should be, this is just in a different order. Okay, 6A. So if you look, do you remember we looked at the difference between when we write a letter or a message, and if it needs to be using formal language or informal language, which is casual. And it's very important that we can understand that we need to change the way that we speak depending on the situation. So if we're in a business meeting, if we're talking to the university, if we're talking to our doctor, to our teacher, those examples, that is formal. But if you're going out to the bar, if you're talking to your friend, to your child, that's casual, informal. So we have a new message here. New message. Let's read it. It says, "Hi, Rona." So remember, there should be a comma. "Hi, Rona. Sorry I wasn't at home on Saturday, but I was busy. It was my sister's birthday, so my family were at her house. It was a great party. How was your weekend? Can we meet tomorrow? Best wishes, Sam." So using this message as an example, it looks like it's a little bit of it's a message maybe to a friend. And we can see that they were talking about the past, what they did. So we can see was, were to talk about the past. If I was to talk about now, I'd say am is are. You know, I am teaching, she is listening, he is whatever. We are learning. But in the past, I wasn't negative home. I was busy. It was my sister's birthday. My family were at her house. It was a great party. And then they return the question, how was your weekend? So lots of past there because the time is finished. So when Sam wrote this message, it was already finished, the weekend. So we need to know that was is for I, he, she, it, singular, one person. Were for many. That's you all. Sorry, that's you, except for you. It sounds plural, but it is used for you. We, they. And if it's the negative, you just add not. To respond, to make a question first, start with the verb, was or were. So depending on the subject, start with the verb and then the answer, yes, I was, no, I wasn't. So pretty simple. We looked at that earlier in the week. I'll quickly bring up we would have looked at it very early in the week. For Unit 6, grammar would be here. So I won't repeat writing it. I'll just, let's see if we can write some notes. So to make the past, we put the subject, was or were, and then the information that we want to talk about. To make the negative, you add not. So it's wasn't or weren't. And to make a question, start with start with was or were, subject, and that information. That's just some notes I've taken from here. So affirmative means to make a sentence. It's just a, like I was teaching yesterday. I was at the college. I was 20 years old, however many years ago. She was whatever. So it's just a sentence. It's called an affirmative. Negative, you didn't do it. So I was not at the party. I was not teaching yesterday. I was not with someone yesterday. And a question was he at the party? Were they together? Whatever. So that's just what we've learned. So it's using the verb to be. To be. That's it. Was, were in the past. So just be careful. It is the past. We looked at time expressions. Remember yesterday, last night? You can put this at the beginning. So this is just here. So time expression plus subject plus was or were. So it's just here, right at the beginning. It's just easy to make a sentence when you start with that. So let's just write that here. So we can add time expression. I'll just write that short. So we've got space plus subject plus was, were, and then whatever the information is. So we look here yesterday, last night, on Sunday, last year. You can say the year in 1999. You can even say the special day on Christmas, my last anniversary. My wife and I were in France. So you can even talk about the special occasion, the special day. Okay, let's read an email. So we've got a message. Let's choose the correct form of was or were. So let's do it together. So hello, Sam. The first one's done for us. So the subject is I. So I was busy on Sunday. It was my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. Was number 2. My brothers and sisters, so plural, were all at their house for the party. It was fun. How was your sister's birthday? Were there? Yes, because I've got the plural here. So you got to look a little bit ahead. So were there many people at her party? Can we meet at 5 tomorrow? Rona. So this is a response to the message above. So let's just add some notes. We saw how was is a way to ask a question. So how was So that's another way to ask a question. How was? Or start with the was or were. And yeah, pretty good. Pretty simple. Okay, let's read about George's parents. and Yuka's twin brothers and see if the sentences are true or false. So this man can be Fernando and this woman can be Letizia.
My father is 95.
57.
He was from the USC.
USA.
But they at Oxford University in England, and their wedding was in England. Last year was their
25th. Yeah.
anniversary.
Good. Letizia.
My brothers were born on
5th. 25th. Yeah. 25th. Yeah.
they were both at school at the same time they learned at the same university. Gradually, they were
Both. Yeah.
21 years old. There was a big party at your house for
At our. Yep. At our house for them. Okay. So George's parents were born in the same year. True or false? True. In 1957. So T. True. Yeah. So that is true. So T. True. They were from the USA. They were from the USA. Yeah. He was from the USA, but they were Oxford University in England, and their wedding was in England. They might have been from England, maybe. What do we think? True or false? False? Yeah, he was. Yeah, but they were at England and their wedding was in England. So I don't think they are from the USA. He was born there, their son. So maybe false. His mother was at Oxford University. Yes, true. Their wedding was last year.
false.
Hmm?
False.
False. It wasn't their wedding. It was their wedding anniversary. That's a different, a wedding anniversary means you're celebrating your, 5 years together, 6 years together, 7 years together. It's not your first wedding. It's the day of your wedding. It's the many years after anniversary. So false. Yuka, now we're going to this woman. Brothers were born on the same day. Yeah, because my brothers were born on 25th October 1989. They're twins, so true. They weren't at the same school.
False.
Yeah, because it tells us they were both at school at the same time, but this is where it's different. They weren't at the same university. Same school, different university. They weren't, their 25th birthday was last week.
False.
Yeah, there was a big party last week. Yes, true. Yep. The 21st, yep. And in Australia, that's a big one. 21 is a big birthday party. It wasn't a big party. False. It tells us it was. There was a big party. So this is false. So you can see the negative. It wasn't. False. It was. Good. Let's have a conversation. Complete the conversation with was, were, and the negatives. So we have, let's see. A will be Jimin. B, Joanna. C, Ojulan. D, Daniel. E, Andres. And F, Letizia. Okay?
Hello, Leslie. How was your weekend?
How was?
Great. That's amazing. Birthday.
Good. So let's just, before we move on, so how was your weekend? We've looked before. That's a way to ask a question. How was subject? How was your, whatever you want to ask about, your weekend? The second one, number 2, great. Mike and I were, because there's 2 of us. So make sure you push your voice to were, Joanna, because I didn't really hear that. So Mike and I were, so even give it some time. Make it longer. Were in New York. That's amazing. And then it was my birthday. Good. C and conversation 2.
Was James here this morning?
This morning. D, Daniel. No, he. Yeah. D, yes. No, D. Yep.
No, he was.
Wasn't. Yep.
Where was he?
Mm.
I think he was in the community. No, he
With
was.
Sue and Rona. Yeah.
Oh, they were
Weren't.
because I was with Sue in her office. In her office, our money.
Yeah, good. So there's the answer. So the last one, no, they weren't. So anytime you see no, you must be saying a negative. So it can't be no, they were. No, they weren't. Conversation 3. So E, Andres, and F, Letizia. How was
What you sister did?
yeah,
Very good. Very good.
Where did
was it big?
There weren't
Yeah. So the last one, negative, no, there weren't many people, because talking many. Sorry? Weren't. No, there weren't. Number 12. No, there weren't. Good. Let's look at the next page. Which page do you have? This one? Which is the next one? Yeah. So let me go back because this was in different order. I think 6, this page. Yeah. Okay, so CV, so that's you can call it a curriculum vitae or CV or resume. So this is about this man. His name is James Lake. He was born in 1990, and this is what he did in the year from 2008 to 2009. he did the round the world gap year. So gap year means he took 1 year off and he went around the world, traveled before he went to university and before work. In 2009 to 2015, he worked in a medical college or maybe studied there. In 2016 to 17, he volunteered. He did a volunteer doctor in Africa. And in 2017 until today, present, he worked in a hospital. He works in a hospital, I mean. So let's read what he says. We'll go with Daniel. You can read. You can read this one? Yeah. Visited. So remember the EDs, you must pronounce them. So visited. Yeah, China. Graduated.
in
2017. So lots of was, because it's not happening now. I was born. And then all our verbs with the ed, regular. I finished. You add an ed. That's the verb. The action is to finish. To make it in the past, we say finished. Visited. So the verb is to visit. In the past, visited. Started. In the verb is to start. In the past, started. Studied. Graduated. Worked. So maybe you can highlight all these words or circle them or underline. Started. So you can see all of this information that he is telling us now. He must use the past tense because it's not happening now. These actions have already been completed. He's not doing it now. He's telling us now. So imagine he is standing here speaking, but he must use the past because these actions are finished. When he started college, he studied, he graduated, he traveled. So we use the past simple to talk about finished actions and events. So past simple. Finished actions and events. And one of the first verbs that we learn is to be. To put that one in the past, it's was or were. But then when we have regular ones, so let's add here regular verbs. We just add, so regular verbs, we add the ed. So regular verbs, add, it could be D or ED. So started, finished. we looked at some pronunciation, if you remember earlier in the unit. So we said if it's a Y, you have to add IED. If the verb ends in an E, you add just the D, but it still stays as a one sound. It's live, lived, because the E becomes silent. Lived, lived. And if we end the word, if it ends in a P or an L, you must double the letter and add before you add the ED. Because it has the vowel and consonant. So we can see there's a OP, so double PED, or EL, so double LED to the action. So that's some rules. So these are just some vocab: finish, graduate, join, live, qualify, start, stop, study, travel, visit, walk, work. You remember our W's? Different pronunciation. Walk, work. And using time expressions. In 1999, remember, put this at the beginning of the sentence. Last night, last month, last year, 2 years ago, for 3 years, yesterday, this morning, on Monday, then. That's time. We can put that, we've got it here. Time goes at the beginning of the sentence, before the subject, and before the verb. So let's do some exercises. So let's read the CV. So remember the resume from the previous page. Is it true that he started work in 2016? False. He started 2015. So false. Yeah, false. So false. Did he finish school in 2010? Yeah, true. Did he study at university for 2 years? No, false. He studied for 4 years, I think. Did he start school in 1997? True. Was he born in 1992? True. Did he join an accounting firm in 2015? Yes, that's his job, accounting. Yeah. So did he join? Yes. So which are correct? Studied? No, because we know it ends in a Y. To make it in the past, we need to add IED. Tried, again, it comes from the verb to try, TRY. So to make it in the past, tried. So that one, yes, we tick it. They've ticked it for us. What about this word, visited? Is that correct? We only need one T. So that's wrong. Played.
Correct.
Yes. So that one, played. Graduated.
Correct.
Yep. Yep. Graduated. Stopped.
Mistake.
Yes, there's a mistake. How do we spell it correctly? Yeah, double P. So these are the past verbs. Traveled.
Visited.
Yeah, because it needs double L. And qualified.
Visited.
Yeah. Yes, IED, because it ends in a Y. So IED. Now, the reason why nobody asked me, well, how come play ends in a Y? How come it's not IED? Right? Because what? It's regular. Yeah. But it ends in a Y, like study. So why don't I make it IED, like PLAIED? Right? Because it ends in a Y. Like study, right, is studied. Sorry, studied. And play ends in a Y. So why not played? Because it what? Yes, there's a vowel. So we can't have, it's going to be like 3 vowels here. So you can't do that. That's why they keep the Y. So this one, don't follow the rule. It must keep the Y because you can't have 3 vowels together. See here, it's okay because the D is not a vowel. So we can do D-I-E-D. But here, we cannot change the Y to an I because it would be 3 vowels. You cannot have that. 3 vowels together. So it's played. So just be careful. That's why. Okay, let's complete some questions. So number 1 is done for us. We need to put the verb, the action in brackets into the past. So I started this job 4 years ago. So if you want, this time expression could be at the beginning of the sentence. 4 years ago, comma, I started this job. So it's not happening now. It's not next year. It's in the past. So the action must be with the past simple. Number 2, Jimin. Yeah, they finished work at 9 o'clock last night. It's a past sentence. 3, Letizia. Graduated. Yeah. Yeah, last month. 4, Fernando. Visited. Yes. Yeah, so it's very important. Don't stop at the T. Visited. We visited. Good. 5, Ojalon. Yeah. Yeah. So we can see all the time expressions. Last year, 3 years, last month, last night, 4 years ago. They could be at the end of the sentence or at the beginning. It's up to you. It's more easier when you're first learning to put it at the beginning because your mind can think when it happened first, who did the action, and then the verb. Okay, so number 6, we'll go to Anders. She by taxi. 7, Daniel. They walked home yesterday. 8, Joanna. Yeah. Sally stopped. And 9, Solange. Number 9. No, that's okay. Jimin, 9.
My family lived in Canada for 2 years.
Yes, lived. And 10, Letizia. Yeah. Good. Okay, let's do number 4. So let's read about Nicole. So in 2009, she finished school. 2009 started university. 2013, she graduated with a Spanish degree. From 2013 to 14, she traveled around South America. In 2014 to 15, she studied for a teaching certificate. And in 2015, she joined a private language school. So let's fill in this paragraph with some information. So I finished school. So question, I'm just trying to see what number. Question 4. Yep, so finished. I finished school in 2009 and I started university in the same year. After I graduated from university with a degree in Spanish, I traveled around South America with a friend for nearly a year. After that, I studied. Because she went back to study. I studied for a certificate in teaching and qualified in 2015. Finally, I joined a private language school where I still teach Spanish. Good. So these actions are not happening now. They're happening in the past. And she's telling us about them. Okay, we have this paragraph now. We're talking about irregular. So if you look at all these verbs, these are regular. All we did was add D or IED. So that makes it regular. So you either add ED, D, or IED. Because you change the Y, remember? So let's look at irregular verbs. So what that means is they just break the rules. So I can't really write a rule for them because you just have to learn them. They just break the rules. So for example, went, saw, slept, gave, read, made. These are all irregular. They break the rule. We can see there's no ED, there's no ending D, there's no IED at the end. They're all different. So let's read this postcard. So it looks like a postcard that Anna wrote to her friend, Safi. Could you read it, Andres, please, all of it? Here.
We go to the hotel on Saturday and we stay.
Sorry, I lost where you are. We got to the hotel on Saturday and went straight to the beach.
On Sunday, we took a taxi to the local market and rode on the beach and we stayed 40 minutes in the park inside the park. The website from
Sightseeing.
In the afternoon, work, in the today. No?
Yes, so we can see lots of past irregular verbs. We got comes from the verb gave. So, you know, if I give something to you, yes, sorry, it's get. So if I get something and in the past I got, went comes from go. So today I'm going to my class, tomorrow I will go to my class, but yesterday I went. Sat comes from sit. I'm sitting down now. You know, yesterday I sat on a chair. Swam comes from swim. You know, I swim every day, but yesterday I swam. Took comes from take. I take my car to work. Yesterday I took a bus. Bought, eat, and did. So make sure you underline or circle all those past irregular verbs. And you have to just learn them. There's no rule. You can see they just end all differently. So you have to learn them and know from which verbs they come from. Okay, so let's talk about some rules. We don't have time to practice them because we need to have a break before the test, but the rule is that they are irregular and that there is no rule. That's the best way to learn it. There is no rule. Irregular. There's no rule. So they do not add ed. We can see no ed. It's just went, not goed. It's made, not maked. There is no rule. That's the rule. Okay, they're all different and there's many of them. If you want to know which ones, just type into Google list of irregular verbs in the past. Be careful, don't look at the past simple. Sorry, don't look at the past perfect. So in the past tense. That's it. Just find whichever document you want and that's it there. So you can see lots and lots and lots. There's more than this. So, okay. So we also looked at key vocabs to do your homework. Go sightseeing, do some sightseeing, get up, go shopping, make lunch, take a taxi. So that's it for unit 6. So what we learnt, let's go back. We learnt that we have this way of speaking when we want to talk about finished actions and events. So the first one, to be, is was or were, but then we've also got every other action and irregular. So just remember there's to be is your first one. You use it when you want to talk about your age, your location, your job. And then when you want to use the other actions, you go to the regular. So same rule, subject. So the rule is subject plus, same up here. See, this one is like that. This one, same thing, subject plus verb with an ed, or I don't know which one. It could be D or IED, or it could be irregular. I don't know. Depends which action you're talking about. That's how we create this sentence. So whatever action, to study, so to play, to speak, to read, whatever, that's the main action. But this one is not, this one is used when we need to talk about this information. This is when I talk about the action, the studying, the played, the speaking to someone, or whatever action I need to talk about. But just be careful, some of them are irregular. That's it. That is unit 6, the past. So we looked at a lot of the past simple. So we'll finish here. And that means we'll start the next lesson, unit 7, which will be the final journey. So sorry, not the final journey, journeys. And we're going to start looking at some adjectives here. Yeah, mostly some adjectives. Ways of traveling. So it'll be an interesting one for next time. Okay, so I'll finish here.